YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back in Total War Warhammer 2. We're going to continue our chat about what the patch has changed. We are going to be looking at a battle here that involves the vampire counts, but I'm actually going to use this as an opportunity to focus on the High Elves. Let's do the battle first and then talk about the changes afterwards, just to kind of flip up the agenda a little bit. Let's hit the overhead and talk through the armies. The High Elves are being formed up on a main line of spearmen. There's 5 of them here, and then in the background they're supported by a Lore Master of Hoeth. Over here on this flank we've got 2 nobles on a horse, and then Tyrion, who did take some changes in this patch, as well as the Silver Helms also got a charge bonus buff. And then out here we've got the Heralds of the Wind, Illyrian Reavers. And then for the vampire counts, we're going to have the Blood Dragon Lord on a dragon, obviously with his Terrorgeist here to try and exert air supremacy. Air supremacy, though, might actually be better off with the Von Karstein Lord, but that's only if you expect your opponent to be in the air as well. There is a unit of Blood Knights and then a good old-fashioned Vampire Death Star here with the Konigstein Sockers, several Skeleton Spears, 5 in total, a Banshee, a Necromancer, and a Cairn Wraith. That is definitely a Death Star formation, so let's get ready for it, folks. Let's let this thing go. So the Heralds of the Wind, Illyrian Reavers here, really just pretty darn decent in melee. Not a lot of charge bonus or anything. Actually, it's pretty good too. So yeah, basically just an Illyrian Reaver archer who's better in melee, which could be pretty handy against vampire units in the late game. So we'll see how well they're used here. They're just out doing some skirmishing. Vanel's Dance Macabre used here. Probably in a hope to catch these skirmishing horsemen here. Use some magic that early, though. Kind of feels like a bit of a waste. With Tyrion, he does have the Sun Fang. Let's check out what the Vampire Lord has brought here. Get over here, Vampire. Alright, so he's going to have the Heart Piercing, Helm of Discord, Undeath Resurgent, Sword of Anti-Heroes, Raise the Dead, Dance Macabre, and Invocation. So yeah. He's going to bring in a breath attack, but he tried to breath attack these horsemen, but they were spread out, so their center of mass wasn't in that spot where he ended up firing, so it kind of sucks for the vampire player, but that's prone to happen. You got to be very, very patient with those breath attacks to maximize them. Looks like the Terrorgeist is going to let loose with them. He got some cavalry kills there. The Terrorgeist breath attack isn't near as strong as an actual dragon. Ooh, that Terrorgeist, though. Oh, I thought he was trying to land. I was like, this is not a good place to land. Not a runway. These Silver Helms don't have any particular anti-large qualities, but because of martial prowess, they're picking up some bonuses here in the beginning, but they do have 64 charge bonus. So on the charge, the Silver Helms are going to cause immense damage, especially to unarmored units. They're not going to be hugely powerful, but yeah, could be good against low armor, and the vampires tend to sport low armor for the most part. These 2 nobles are going to provide a huge anti-large help to Tyrion, who himself is just armor piercing. So between the 3 of them, they're going to be able to pack a wallop against any dragon or Terrorgeist that lands. Not that they're immune to that return attack. The High Elves here are going to have to rely again on the martial prowess, which is going to give them huge melee defense early in this fight. Let's watch the lines clash here. The Vampire Death Star and the High Elven Spearmen. Beautiful clash. Got the Cairn Wraiths back there. Again, good old-fashioned Vampire Death Star right here with the Necromancer up in there. And basically the Vampire's obviously just hoping this holds while he's busy elsewhere. I don't know what that summon was about. I think he may have been trying to trap these archers, but that summon ends up getting wasted there by the vampire player, and the Blood Knights get singled out here. Their support's a little ways away. They're being charged down by Silver Helms, who then change their mind and decide they want to go for the Corpse Cart with the it's the Necromancer on the Corpse Cart. So that's a double service there on the Corpse Cart to buff the melee of the surrounding troops and give them some replenishment. Just a quick charge from the Silver Helms, good idea. They don't want to stick around in that fight. The High Elf Spearmen are holding surprisingly well, considering the numbers they're up against. Spirit Leech from the Lore Master on the Terrorgeist. And the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord taking some fire, but almost out of ammo over here. It's not going to be a Raise the Dead here from the Necromancer. There's going to be a lot of Raise the Dead potential from this army. Quick charge from the Silverhelms should delete a fair amount of those zombies, but then they get hit by the Blood Dragon Lord, so that's going to hurt. And then over here, the two Silverhelms continue to pursue the Blood Knights, who honestly should probably just taken the fight and then gotten assistance from the Terrorgeist. Because now the Blood Knights are dropping the Silverhelms, which is not where you would typically see them fall. And these Heralds of the Wind ought to do quite well in cleaning up zombies, to be honest. Silverhelm's going to do the same thing here. Just putting down some big charge bonuses. The Vampire Lord's going to come down, help try and clean up some of the infantry. But then changes his mind. Ooh, I don't know what he thinks he wants in this blob over here. But the High Elves not really willing to take that engagement yet either. They want more support. Heralds of the Wind going in for another charge on these zombie chaff back here. Now the Silverhelms being pursued, and the Terrorgeist did come to try and assist, but then flew off and left the Blood Knights for dead here. Let's see this. The Blood Dragon Lord gonna get into it here. The High Elf leadership. And they can potentially dish a lot of damage to him. He's got some nice debuffs on him, though, if he uses it the right time. Right now he's using the Sword of Anti-Heroes. You can see his melee damage was way up there momentarily. He's going to just summon some zombies and get away from that fight. That makes sense. So these summoned zombies almost dealt with. Now the High Elf leadership getting countercharged. Now you got a lot of anti-large here with Terrorgeist. And with those zombies around, it'll help them a great deal. Yeah, you can see the bite that just went into one of those nobles. The Terrorgeist really putting a chewing on him. And there's poison on the Terrorgeist. So, whew. Yeah, that noble took a beating very, very quickly. And there's no magic here for the High Elves in this build. It's all cavalry focused. Now the Blood Lord gonna get absolutely swamped by Silverhelms. Silverhelm's not gonna do great, but I mean, I don't think the Blood Lord wants to fight all of those, or the Blood Dragon Lord wants to fight all of these Silverhelms. Now they're gonna cycle charge over into the Terrorgeist, and the noble was terrorized out of the fight, as were the Heralds of the Wind. So now a focus on the Terrorgeist, and he just took a huge chunk out of him from one of the nobles, and then the other noble charges back in for a little revenge. So the Terrorgeist now getting bruised badly in a fight with Tyrion and the two nobles, and yep, there you go. Terrorgeist not quite as survivable as that Lord. He is going to run for the hills. And he gets away, too. That sucks for the High Elves. They're starting to lose their infantry to the Death Star. There's an invocation of the heck over here. The leadership trying to get to that dragon, but there's just too many spearmen in the way right now. And the Silverhelm's still alive and able to drop some charges here. This would be a good rear charge. Try and get a little bit of damage done against this vampire infantry. One Silverhelm is almost gone. Managed to get 86 kills, but it hasn't even budged the experience bar, so pretty much all zombies. Ooh, the Terrorgeist just got hit so hard it's gonna crumble. So yeah, the Terrorgeist is in bad shape at this point. I don't think it's gonna survive this fight. All that cavalry down there. Oh, Terrorgeist trying desperately to get back in the air, and it might. It's got the invocation of the heck, so I think it will. There's going to be two sources for invocation. Here comes Sunfang again. There was a Sunfang earlier, and it killed quite a few. That's why Tyrion's going to have a whole bunch of kills. We didn't catch it earlier, but the Sunfang hit a blob of infantry and got Tyrion quite a few kills. That one's still showing the Sunfang there, even though it already went off, I think. Just a glitch at this point. Terrorgeist crumbling again. He's going to try and get back into the air. Undeath's Resurgent should keep him from crumbling. So a nice play there by the Vampire player. Still a Necromancer, still a Banshee. Tyrion being hit by the Banshee. Dive bomb from the Terrorgeist. There's going to be more zombies summoning. So the High Elves definitely still have a fight on their hands. Tyrion manages to get away from that Banshee, though. The Terrorgeist picked up a lot of hit points throughout that. And now Tyrion back into the fight. Let's see if it's going to happen. Both teams could take some gruesome hits right now. Helm of Discord, so that's going to hurt the Elves badly from the Blood Dragon Lord here. The Terrorgeist, I think, is, yeah, it's going to bite it. It can't get free of that. Too much damage, so Terrorgeist is out. There goes its last undead breath. And the Blood Dragon Lord now in desperate fight. He's going to use his mass to get out of there. A little more mass than that Terrorgeist. Ooh, but chased. Can they keep him on the ground? Ooh, yes, they tagged him. Tagged him again. Oh my goodness, that was a hit. Tyrion just put down another huge hit. Oh, and the Blood Dragon is slain by Tyrion and his nobles. But then the Banshee just pulls up and takes a huge chunk out of one of these nobles. The High Elves have not clicked an attack order on the Banshee, and she just sneaks in and assassinates one of the nobles. No magic damage here for the Elves, but if they go kill the Necromancer, I think this army's toast. So a little bit of a slow reaction here from the Elves, not exactly sure why. Comes a charge of Silver Helms. Okay, now they've reactivated over here, so just having a moment. Slow to micro, and yes, I do believe the Necromancer's the target. He takes a big hit. Another big hit. Oh yeah, Necromancer is dropping extremely quick, as one would expect in this fight. And then the Banshee won't have the leadership, and then that Necromancer was doing some replenishment as well. So the High Elves have enough infantry. They should be able to flip the power bar. Turn this fight. Let's get some close-ups here real quick. Watch Tyrion and his noble fighting this Banshee. Tyrion delivers a lot of armor piercing. We'll talk about that. He got his damage flipped to make him more useful in combat. He is definitely an armor piercing tank. He just doesn't have a huge monstrous mount like a lot of lords would in that case, but I mean, he can deal some pretty decent damage in the right position. So there goes the disintegration of what was left of the vampire army, and tough fight for the High Elves. They pulled it off. There were certainly some mistakes there from both players, but fun play. And Silver Helms, interesting to see them put to use. Let's go talk about what changed for the High Elves. Thank you to Regina and her opponent there for a fun match for us to watch. The High Elves in action post-patch here. So if we go in and just kind of take a look at the replays here. Let's see, we got replays. Holy crap, getting confused here. Yeah, custom battle screens. Go check out the High Elves, and the High Elves here. Yeah, so what changed for them in this last patch? Well, let's start down with the first note here. The Fireborn dropped in cost by 50, but they also lost 5 physical resistance, which is going to put them at 20% total, so a little bit cheaper. Overall, should be a good change for the Fireborn. Nothing that's going to hurt them. 50 less costs for normal Dragon Princes as well, and they also lost a little bit of physical resistance. Same thing, -5. Silver Helms picked up 4 charge bonus, which is going to make them more dangerous on the charge. 64 charge. So the ones with shields have a little more melee defense, the ones without don't, but could just be good for charging down unarmored targets. They're going to be focused on the charge. The Handmaiden is now cheaper, 50 cost in multiplayer, and she has increased projectile speed and increased projectile penetration. We need to test that, so I'll probably have a video coming up on that soon just to see what that looks like. Sisters of Avalorn picked up an additional 2 armor piercing, to their damage, but lost it from the base. So same overall missile damage, just more of it going into armor piercings. These sisters are going to destroy even worse against armor now, so probably a good thing. They're very expensive, and doesn't hurt for them to be very effective versus armor. The Everqueen's Court Guards got the same change with 2 AP missile damage, -2 base damage. The Gray got reduced in cost by 100. That is going to be this Shadow Warrior unit, so I don't think that hurts, obviously, because they're pretty expensive for an archer unit. They have great range. They can snipe and fire whilst moving, so definitely an interesting unit. And they also have Loic Shroud, which can impart stalk and unspottable to themselves as well. So that almost would be cool if it could be applied to another unit as well, like a cavalry unit. Anyway, the Storm Riders are now 50 cheaper, so it's probably good for these Lothern Seaguard Regiment Renowned. And then Tyrion actually picked up cost, but it's because he lost some melee attack, but the big change is he picked up 90 AP damage. So that's a big deal. He lost 110 base damage, but picked up 90 AP. You can see the breakdown there. Now he's 310 armor piercing, 160 standard. So Tyrion did get a little more expensive, but he's going to be a lot more effective overall. So good change there. Ilariel lost 8 attack while she's on her Eagle. So her melee attack came down some. No change to the defense with Ilariel. She maintains very high melee defense on any mount. As you can see there, 55 on her horse, and then when you put in the martial prowess, it's going to be even higher. Alethanar, projectile slightly more accurate and increased penetration. Again, going to be worth a test along with the Handmaiden. And then the Tyrannok Chariot, they added martial prowess to it, and then took away 4 melee defense to probably balance that out, because the martial prowess will give it more while it's above 50%. And then the same thing goes for the Aethelmar Chariot. So both chariots should be a little tankier now when they get into melee. I'm missing both those. Yeah, they're right here. Here's the Aethelmar Chariot, and then there's your Tyrannok Chariot. So Aethelmar melee defense of 30, but it should get a nice 42 whenever it has the martial prowess going on. So interesting changes. And then melee defense will go up to 34 for the Tyrannok Chariot. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this one. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll be back with more soon. You all stay tuned.